Oh, good. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Marissa.
Hey Darius, so my name's Marisa Portuondo and I am a law firm owner. We focus on business and construction law. We do lots of, general counsel work for our clients, which means we do everything for them basically. And if we can't do it for them, then we find someone who can.
Very cool. All right. So tell us a little bit about your use with Dubb.
So I first found out about Dubb actually from another attorney, and I thought it was just so cool how, you can have that GIF. For me, that's everything, having that live, person moving in whether it's an email or newsletter or however you want to use it, because when you send video to people, either it's, this huge download that no one wants to deal with, or it's a link which freaks people out. They think it's like some kind of virus or phishing scam or something. So I wasn't really using video before, as far as communicating with my clients. And when I started using it, I use it for everything. I use it for birthday messages. I use it for, automations. If someone schedules an appointment with me, they'll get a video immediately, sent to them. Hey, thank you so much for scheduling an appointment. Here's what you can expect. This is the paperwork we want you to bring. Here's how you get to our office. It really just kind of gets, they already know me before they even walk through my door. And I also use it for my case updates when we especially have good news. If, we've gotten a great offer from the other side, or if it looks like things might be settling, any kind of good news, especially. I love breaking over video. People seem to really enjoy that.
Nice. Cool. Very good. Art, what would you say has been the result, like something noticeable that you've picked up from using video?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, I have a lot of clients who aren't in Miami, and it's just not the same as a phone call. People get a feel for what I look like, what I sound like, my body language. It's like being there with that person. I think, it really improves the client experience. I think that also, I did figure out how to use it a little bit in our newsletter when I was working with my old marketing team, and I had the idea to throw the live GIFs in there. And I think it made the open rate just so much higher. It's so hard to resist when you're looking at a newsletter, that person, like, like you got to click on it and hear what they're saying. So I think that's been huge.
Awesome. So better engagement on your emails and better understanding, better relationship building with your existing clients, better communication.
Absolutely. And also for networking, prospects, referral sources, all kinds of stuff, anything that you want to make more personal, really.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for that little testimonial. All right. And I know that you had some things that we were interested in kind of diving in deeper here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I know one of the first things we were talking about is the mobile app. I've had a lot of updates coming to the mobile app, and a lot have that already been released and more coming. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the ones we currently have. So we can't share the phone through this particular platform, but what I can do is share my screen on the computer here and take you guys through a little tutorial video. So whenever you're on the website, you can see my screen here, right?
I can. Can I make my screen bigger or no?
If I make mine a little bit bigger, that might help.
Yeah.
Also do like this, plus, might help just a bit. Okay, so what we can do here is there's this little lowercase I icon in the top right corner, and that is our video tutorial center. So I always recommend popping in there whenever you guys have questions, because chances are there's going to be a nice video in here that will probably answer it. Most of anything on the platform, there's going to be a section, so including that app tutorial. So this one right here, this new app tutorial, is going to go through step-by-step some of that recording functionality. Doesn't have everything in there though yet, so we will have an updated video because we just keep adding more and more to the app, so it gets out of date pretty quick. So right now, what we can do with the app is some really, really cool, unique stuff that we wouldn't be able to do with any other basic camera. We would need, editing software and some other things. So here's the way it works. I recommend watching that video. I'm going to go ahead and break it down here for you on the mobile, but that's what I recommend, is watching that video when you're ready to take over yourself. So the way that the app works has some really cool recording functionality. We can start the video facing ourselves, and then in the middle of that video, we can either pause it and flip it to the back camera. So, I can say, hey, I just wanted to show you something, and then flip it to the reverse camera and then show them that. We can also take things like clips from our mobile. So say if you had a screen recording you did, and then you had a video of the office, and then you had some video of yourself and you wanted to put all three of those together into one video without having to go into iMovie or pay a videographer, you could do all that right from the app. So all you would do is hit the record or select option, and you would either record those brand new clips or splice in the existing clips that are already on your camera roll. So it's a really cool way of making these, animated, exciting videos. Like I said, you can add music, you can add emojis and text on the screen, lots of really fun stuff you can do, and not have to, like I said, use a video editor or come into iMovie or Adobe and know what the hell we're doing. It's all really easy to do. Just plug and play. Just click plus, drop the clip in, add more clips. There's a button for music, all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome. And quick question: Can the video clip be something that's like in your photo gallery, or does it have to be a clip that was recorded?
No, exactly. You can take it right from your photo gallery in your phone. Your internally stored videos. You can record brand new ones, and you can combine those two together.
So you don't have to record on the Dubb app to use the Dubb app.
No. You can literally, you could go record 5 separate videos on your phone, one horizontal, one landscape, one front facing, all 5 separate videos shot 5 different days apart. And then you could put them on the app and put them all back to back together, and they'd play.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the idea there is to be really efficient and on the go, but also having kind of fun, dynamic videos. So it's the best of all the worlds. We have the custom, the music, the fun, the movement, but without having to spend, an hour in Adobe trying to figure out how to do that stuff and then exporting it and all that. So that is the mobile app. Definitely check it out. I'd say it's just a matter of playing around with it. Every device is a little bit different as well. So iPhone or Android, it's pretty much the same, but the way that you record or insert clips might just be a little tiny bit different. So stay tuned for that. We will be having another video coming with some of that additional functionality, like I said, adding in music and things like that. The one in there now, the instructional video in there now, does cover how to use the clips and stuff, just not like the emoji and text and the other more recent features. So we'll have it coming there shortly. Okay, I know we had talked about a couple other things, which was the newsletter. Okay, so this is really cool. So what I always recommend, regardless of the vertical, law, real estate, mortgage, the idea is we don't want to spend a ton of our own time and resources and energy trying to come up with what we want to put in the newsletter, right? Like having to come up with an awesome newsletter every week or every 2 weeks or every quarter is just a lot of work that we don't necessarily have to do ourselves. So here's what that looks like when we're using other people's stuff. I have a real estate report pulled up here, but what you would do is pull up some things, maybe either trending in your specific vertical. So like whether it's injury, right?
And business.
Sorry, business and construction. That's right. You said sorry. So you would do is you pull up a report here where you're focused on some either new guidelines or regulations or whatever's trending in the industry of law regarding business and construction. And so I'm sure you probably have your finger on the pulse of a couple of local reports or things like that. Because if something changes, you're going to be one of the first to know, right?
Hopefully, right?
And if not, then this is the time where you go and subscribe to a few newsletters that have that, and the idea here is you as the expert can come in and you don't have to write all this stuff yourself or know what's happening. So all you do is you come in as the expert and you just turn on the screen recorder. And then now it's you providing the value. It's your expertise. It's you showing what's going on in the local market or in your specific vertical. And you didn't have to come up with the graphics or anything like that. But it's your voice, your expertise, the inflection, your annotations, you providing the insight to this report. Because if you send this over to somebody, they're not going to know what to look for. They're going to see this complicated like law report. And they're like, I have no idea okay, this law means this or this change. How does this affect me? So you as the expert come in and break down the tit for tat, the play-by-play for those reports or those updates. And so that's the type of content where you didn't have to, do anything except for maybe a little bit of research. And then you come in as the expert and provide the things that you're good at. So that's the type of newsletter where, again, you're not having to rack your brain or spend time graphically designing this stuff. You're just pulling up a couple of local, or not local necessarily, but, vertical specific stuff that's going to be interesting content for your audience. And we just pull that. It doesn't have to be just one report either. You can pull up 1 or 2. Maybe it's 2 or 3 topics that you want to cover in that newsletter for that week or that quarter or whatever it is. So that's typically how we recommend to do newsletters on the fly. I mean, you could really pull one of these together in 15 minutes easily. You just Google a couple things where you're like, okay, I didn't know this came out in the last 3 months, 2 months, this year. We're still in the fresh year, so anything's fair game. and then pull those things up. You could have a couple of tabs open, so where you have 1 or 2, 3 reports open, and you're pulling an excerpt from each of those. So that's kind of what that looks like. Just hit record, run through those, has your voice, your expertise. The other thing we can do with the screen recorder is also, just like the app, there's some dynamism we can include, so we can expand this webcam to where we're speaking directly to them. This part's really important, so pay attention, and then go back into the screen recorder, annotate it, things like that. Nice. So that is the way we would make these newsletters without having to, really rack our brains for what to do it on. Every vertical is the same, because there's going to be reports out there, people doing the hard work of doing all the research and updating, and then all you got to do is really kind of have your finger on the pulse of that. And that's all you really need. Like I say, for real estate, it's the same thing. You as the real estate agent don't need to know this stuff like the back of your hand, but you do have to know when it comes up, when changes are when they're happening, and you have to be familiar with them. So it wouldn't be any different for your vertical. You're paying attention to recent changes, updates, things like that, and then you have an understanding of them, and then you relay that to your audience.
Nice.
Cool. And then now when we're incorporating these, so you do this little video, right? The newsletter, it has either the thumbnails, either your face like this, or it is the image of the report itself, or you could upload something custom and make it fun. And now when you're actually ready to put that into your newsletter, what would you be using? Would you be using Dubb or some other tool to get that video in front of everyone?
I have no idea. We've used MailChimp in the past for our newsletter. And just recently, I'm actually currently onboarding with a new CRM. So we'll probably switch from MailChimp to them, actually.
Okay. So a couple of things here. What's the CRM?
It's called Lawmatics. It's obviously
okay. Cool. And then remind me, do you guys have a Gmail or an Outlook? What's your primary sender? Or is it through
we use G Suite.
Okay. And then how big's your list?
It's not huge. We probably have about 600 people right now.
Okay. Here's what I recommend. I do recommend actually using Dubb to send out these newsletters, and here's why. One is it's going to be completely free. You can connect your G Suite right to your Dubb account and send out right through your Gmail. So that way in your Gmail sent email box will be those emails you're sending out. And when the from email, it'll be actually from your Gmail. So let me run through that actually really quickly. There's a couple of things we need to do in order to do that. So I'm actually going to jump into your account, see how many of these prerequisites we have set up. And I'm going to help you with those if we don't have them done.
I'll be able to watch this video later, right? Because there's no way I can remember.
No, exactly. Yeah, don't worry about taking notes. You're totally good.
Okay, good.
Okay, so, oh man, did it again. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Dubb.com. Okay, we're in here. So the first thing we want to do is set up your email. So we'll come into settings under team configuration. We need a physical address here. So that's CAN spam compliant, just to be regulation wise. Next thing is under campaign settings. All you'll have to do is come in here, click add new configuration, click Gmail API. And then when you connect with Gmail, it's going to take you to a little Gmail interface. You just type in your Gmail and it'll sign you in. And then your Gmail is going to be connected here to Dubb.
Nice.
Okay, so that is the first things. The next thing is every video you want to send, there's going to be this little checkbox that we need to check. I'm just going to use this one as a sample. Under privacy, there's this little box right here. It says share with team and allow collaboration. And if you mouse over, you see it says use for campaigns and workflows. So once that box is checked, we're good to go. And now this one can be, say if we wanted to send this to our newsletter, right? All right, here's how that works. All the prerequisites are done now. We've added physical address, we've connected Gmail, and we've set that video to shareable. Now what I do is come into contacts. I have to import my contacts. So I would just take a CSV file and import them. And what I would actually do is add a tag to them. So I'm actually going to use my contact as an example here for you, okay? Darius. Okay. And then now the tagging system for us is really important because that's how we're going to launch our campaigns and automations off. So here's what that looks like. Say we want to send a newsletter to our whole list, right? Oops. Okay, we actually have to do that. So, okay, for this part, I'm going to jump into mine to show you because you have to actually put in all this stuff before we can move forward, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let me jump back into mine to show you this part. Okay, so we're there. We'll go to marketing. Oops. So you saw I already have a physical address. I did all those prerequisites. So campaign, emails connected, all the good stuff's done. That video checkbox is selected. Now under marketing, the first thing, as I mentioned, is to bring in the contacts. So the easiest way to do that is to just do a CSV import, a CSV file. I do recommend, like I said, adding tags to keep people organized. So I would say, newsletter 1 or something like that, when you import these guys. Whatever you plan on keeping them segmented as. So if it's old or new or, you know what I mean? Like whatever segmentation you have going on, I would keep.
And you would have that tag in a column in the CSV?
No, it's separate from the column. Let me go and show you where that looks. It's right actually here. So the CSV file is by itself, and then you would add the tag separately.
Oh, okay, I see. So you would upload everyone in that one tag at once as one.
Yeah, you import everyone in as one with one CSV file, unless, like I said, there's any distinguishment or separation going on between that list. So if some of them are old or new or cold or however you have them segmented, we want to keep that going on. If they're all in one list, that's okay. Then we just put them all in one monster list and call it, newsletter or whatever.
Got it. But if you want to separate by tag, each tag should be a separate CSV file.
Correct. You could do separate CSV files. Yes, that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
So once those contacts are in here and they're tagged, all we do is come to campaign. And then this is for one-time sends. The difference between campaigns and automations are campaigns are for one bulk message, like a newsletter, and automations are, for a series of videos, 1, 2, 3, 5, that you want to go out automatically. And then the emails for each of these are separate. So you see, for a campaign, I first have to build the email, and same thing for automations, for workflows. I need to build the emails before I can build the workflow. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're doing a newsletter, right? We're gonna just type this newsletter. This is the email we connected, so I'm just gonna use my Darius at Dubb. There's the from name. There's the subject line. Check out this newsletter. And then now, remember those videos, we checked the box to make it say shared. That's what's going to allow those to appear here. If it doesn't have that shared checkbox, it's not going to show up here. So we'll just put the mouse around it. You see the little blue frame. That's the video it's going to include. If I hit next. Now, this is what the email looks like. It's just a plain email. And when we want to include text there, you can see that unsubscribe. At least it's all CAN spam compliancy. So that's required. And then now here's the body of the email itself. We have a couple of options. We can either use a simple editor, and you see it just throws some text in there. It says, hey, first name. So it puts their first name, and this is from the contacts here on Dubb. But you can erase all this and just have the email say whatever you want. This is just kind of placeholder text. But this would be a plain email, and so this is what the preview of what that looks like. Hey, Darius, watch the video. Then it has the video and a button. That's it. There's also templates we can do here. So if I select this template, you can see it has like some header. It throws the logo on there, puts our social links on it, has some buttons. It just makes a much more templatized formatted email. Do you kind of see that?
Yeah. And you build that on Dubb as well, or?
Absolutely. See, I can come in here and edit this template and really make any changes that I want to it. So I can change all the text or colors or do whatever I wanted to with that specific template. And when I'm done making changes to that template, I would hit save here. And then you can also, there's tons of other templates to choose from. So you can select the basic template and then make edits to it and then apply that template.
So there are some already pre-built.
Yeah, exactly. These guys,
nice.
Ones, exactly. Yeah, some of these are pre-built. Like this punch one, you can see it's punch colored, different, So yeah, they're pre-built. We'll have more of these coming in there as well. And then, as I mentioned, you can make any edits to this one. I don't know why this guy's not loading here. But yeah, you can make edits to the templates.
Nice.
And whenever you're happy with that, either plain text or the template, you would click next. And then now this is where you do the recipients. So I mentioned that tag, right? So you saw that tag that I added, which was just test. If I use that tag here, you'll see it enrolls. Well, nobody. Let me try a different one. S2 maybe. There you go. Well, 0 tags still. Okay, so I'm not picking a good tag here, but if I oh no, I was doing it in the wrong list. Inclusion is where you want to put the tag. So as I mentioned, if you brought in that whole list and you tagged them all with sign up, that list of 600, you would just select the tag sign up, and then it's going to enroll all 600 of those people, or however many you tagged with that. And then we can either schedule this for later or send it right away. So that is how you would create and then send the campaign right through Dubb. So we created it, using the screen recording, made sure we selected it as shareable, built the email itself, previewed it, selected a template, whatever, and then decided who we want to send it to. And then the last step is schedule it for later or send it now.
Nice.
And the cool thing is when you actually come in here, you can see exactly how these emails perform. So you can see this one sent to about almost 17,000. And if I want to look at the stats for that, I can see exactly how many opens, clicks, watches, who watched, who opened, all that stuff. So it's just a nice way to kind of identify, who's engaging. I mean, if that makes sense. For you, I know it's more just like an update and referral network and things like that. You're not trying to, make sales from a newsletter. So
no, I want to know who's watching.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, you can definitely come in there. You can just filter by who's watching, who's clicking, things like that. So yeah, that is actually what I'd recommend to do for your newsletter through Dubb, because considering the list is less than 1,000, we can put them all on Gmail. It's completely free. It's built into Dubb, and it's going to be a really powerful way to do that. If we're sending videos through other services like a MailChimp or something like that, we won't get this level of analytics. We will be able to see who clicked and who opened it from MailChimp or whatever tool. They'll provide that, but we won't be able to see who clicked or who watched what percentage of the video. We will see general stats, so you'll see how many times it was watched, and you'll see how many times it was clicked, but you won't see specifically who watched what percentage if we're sending it through a third-party tool.
Oh, so you can actually see like the email address or whatever of the person who actually watched.
Yeah, exactly. So like if I go in video view, you can see it says 1% by Jennifer, or 1% by Rio, 100% by Rio, 30% by Peggy. And if I go in there into this contact, I can see Peggy's email and follow up with her or do whatever I need to.
So is there a way? I'm trying to think of what it was that I did. I had like a blast that I sent out. Obviously I didn't go through any of this stuff, but if let's just say I send an email to one person, to 2 people, right? And then I see the activity, like so-and-so's watched it. It'll tell me the city, but it won't say the name. The only way to get the actual name is to have them, I guess, uploaded through this newsletter.
Well, no. Okay. So if we're sending videos one-to-one, we can really get the name on it, but we just have to have the contact in Dubb first. So say, for example, if I'm going to send a video through my Gmail here, I have to have that system. I have to have that email in Dubb. So like I send this video to somebody, if I just enter Jim's email here,
Got it.
You see all these guys have names, but this one here, I don't have a name for him in my system. So this won't tell me Jim Taylor opened it. It's just going to say Jim at RIS Media opened because that's the only thing we have to tag him with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that's still more information than just, the city and state. So that's
great. Yeah. So if we're concerned about tracking, just make sure you're entering their email here before you insert the video. Because what this does is it's actually attaching this email to that specific video so that we can tell when that person watches that video.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that also adds it to the database so that you don't have to do it again. Like you're in our database, so if I type your name in here, I'll be able to find you right there pretty easily. So yeah, that's definitely recommend taking advantage of the tracking feature there.
Very cool.
Yeah, the other, like I said, the easy way to do it too is to just have your list and put it into Dubb, and then all that tracking will be automatic, unless it's a brand new contact, someone you haven't put in Dubb yet. Okay, so we've covered the clips, we've covered the newsletter. Let's talk a little bit about, I know we had some interest in SMS and videos on the website, right? You currently have any videos on your website?
Yeah, actually I do, which I wasn't aware of, and I kept getting notifications that this one video was being watched.
And like, how does it keep getting watched?
I was like, why is everyone watching that video? And apparently it's because it's on one of my main pages. I didn't realize the developers had put that on there.
Okay, cool. So you are aware of the Dubb's embedding options. Every video we have on
I have
Dubb.
no idea how they did it, but apparently, yeah, I know it exists.
Okay, so for from now on, you can know that any video you upload to Dubb will have multiple embedding options. One is, you'll see if I hit share and send, there's embed and widget. So there's 2 different codes, and they're slightly different. Let me show you what those look like. One is a standard embedded video, just like this. And the cool thing is your little call to actions actually get put on it at the end. And then the second one is the widget style video here. So it's really cool for more of a personal website. Like say if it's, your personal website, when someone lands on that, it could be nice to have a greeting video, of you here. So they land on the site. It's you saying, hey, welcome to the site. Thanks so much for visiting. If you'd like, you can click here for this, check out here for that, whatever. It's kind of like if you were in person showing somebody your website. That's kind of the idea of the widget one. Because as they're scrolling, it kind of follows them around. So they can explore the site and still hear what you have to say in terms of instructing them.
Oh, it'll stay down there on the bottom right.
Yeah, exactly. It follows them no matter what they're doing.
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be on the bottom right. It can be top right, left top, wherever you want it. Cool. Every video there has a couple of, like I said, embedding options. And there's little bottom right, top right, autoplay with sound, whatever you need to.
And are there videos on how to put this stuff on your website, or?
It's pretty straightforward. Like anywhere that because for depending on what you're using for your website, there's basically embed codes where you can put the video, and it's just an open field where you'd put the embed code for a video, and you'd either put the standard embed video code or a widget code. They go in the same place.
Okay.
Yeah. So anywhere you'd put a video on your site, that's where you put the embed or widget options. Cool. All right, let's see here. What else? SMS. How comfortable are you with SMS, and how often are you actually using SMS? Do you text people?
I have like a few like VIP clients that have my cell phone number because I know they're not going to abuse it. Because of my line of work, obviously. Some lawyers who are very comfortable texting with their clients, but some people just go crazy, and then it just gets out of control.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, okay, now I got to switch phone numbers or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, if you're ever into it, you do have the ability to send videos through text. Are you on Android or iPhone?
Android. And would it go through like my phone, or is there?
So two ways, actually. One is we can use a service like a Google Voice, or if your CRM has a text function, we could use those. And then we can also just send the SMS through your phone like you regularly would.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have all 3 of those things.
Oh, perfect. So then, yeah, we actually, let me just give you a little preview here. So we use Google Voice all the time. We have a VA that sends through, and you can see it had a little still thumbnail and the link to the video. So unfortunately, it can't do like the GIF inside the video like it does inside of the email. We get the nice little GIF and everything. So unfortunately, SMS doesn't allow us to insert the GIF. And that's not anything we can do. It's just a limitation of SMS in general. They don't allow for linked GIFs. So like you can send a GIF through an SMS, but it can't be linked to your video. So no matter what, the video and the link will be separate. And that's whether you're sending it through Google Voice or your Android or any other texting service. So if you're
two separate texts, basically, right?
No, you can put them in the same text, but it's going to split them up. Kind of like I showed you here. Like that's one message, but it splits them up.
Right.
Yeah, it won't ever put the image and the link as one. Okay, and then as I mentioned too, that little tutorial center. Sorry, I'm clicking around so much. There is this little video tutorial center there again, and right down there it'll actually show you how to email the videos or how to text message them, still getting that nice preview. So like with the app and texting, we can't get the GIF, but we still can on email. Like even if you're on the road, you can still get the cool GIF and everything in email from the app. So that one covers that. It says how to video email using the app. And then there's one there, which is how to SMS your videos with getting the preview and everything. So those would probably be the place to go if you ever have interest, because it'll kind of show you step by step. Like I said, we can't do the screen share here. So those would be the place to learn that. Okay, let's see. I think we made it through most of this list. Let me check here. We got the SMS covered, video embedded on websites, workflows or newsletters, and multiple clips on Dubb. I think that's everything. Let's see. What else can I help you with? Anything else can I add questions about?
I guess my only question is if you're sending out through Gmail, and this is just what I've been told, that one of the reasons why it's better to use something like MailChimp or whatever is because if you send a gazillion emails from your personal account, it can get like hit a spam or whatever. Does this kind of like?
Okay, so that's a real. Here's the thing I would say. If you're sending emails that are being marked as spam or that people are reacting to in a negative way, that can damage the reputation of your primary email. And then the reason that usually would happen is because when things are done at scale, when you're sending out a newsletter that looks kind of impersonal and maybe there's not value in it, then people would be more likely to say, hey, this is spam. I don't even know what this is. And so that's the only time, or the benefit of using something like a MailChimp would be that we aren't risking the reputation of our own domain. However, if we have an opted-in list, if these are connections you've actually made, you're not just like scraping or buying emails. These are real connections, which for you, I'm sure it is. And so those people are good leads. Like it's not a list you've bought anywhere or spamming people. So I would think that risk for you in particular is very minimal.
So it's not because you're sending a lot of emails. It's because
no, exactly. You can. It's not the limit. It's not the number of emails. It's how people are reacting to those, and also the content of the email. If you have spammy stuff in there, like don't miss, limited time offer, all the spammy language. The preview apps will preview that email and say, hey, this looks really spammy. Let's tell people this looks like spam, and then people won't even open it, and then or they'll just mark it as spam, and then now your domain is damaged. So yeah, it's not necessarily the number of emails, but the quality of them and how people are reacting to them.
Got it.
And that's actually on the opposite side of the spectrum. That's really beneficial of using your own email because it has a much higher likelihood of getting directly to their inbox. If you're using something like a MailChimp or a promotional provider like that, it's going to end up in their promotions folder because those servers are already identified as promotional tools, so there's a 90% chance you're going to end up in a promotion folder versus their inbox. If you're lucky, like some people don't have a promotion folder, they just have one inbox. You can get in there with those tools. When we're using Gmail, we have a much higher likelihood because it's your own personal email and it's not identified as a promotional tool.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, to your point, if you are doing anything fishy or kind of spammy, or you notice spam reports coming in, you'll get them. You'll see an email that says someone marked your stuff as spam. Then that's not a good sign. Then we would want to remove that person from our list because they're going to damage our reputation, and then B, make sure that for whatever reason they marked us as spam. If it was just a great email and they marked it as spam, then that's just a terrible circumstance. But if it was spammy, I don't know. You're not a spammer. I'm not going to even go there. You're not going to be like spam.
I don't think. Yeah, the Florida bar would not be too happy about.
Right. Yeah. So nothing. I'm not even going to cover that. Yeah. So I would say in terms of domain reputation, we're actually we are better off using your own email, and it will warm up your domain, and you'll have a really great reputation as long as you're not doing those malpractices.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm just like, this is a lot to take in. I may never practice again if I start diving into this.
And this
videos on the cell phone. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so I know we covered a lot of stuff today, and the video's a little long, but you can just jump in there and skip through to the points where you're like, okay, what was he talking about, the app or the whatever you had interest in.
Yeah. No, this is great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Well, as you know, whatever you need in terms of support, don't hesitate to reach out, chat, email, call support like we're doing now. Whatever you need.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys have always been great about that. So thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Marissa. Well, thanks.
All right, Darius.
Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Kick you out here. Bye.